Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Spokespeople Podcast. I am your co-host, Dave, with our other co-host.
Also Dave.
And once again, we want to thank you all for listening in on this podcast. And special thanks to our sponsor, The Bikeway, serving the greater Metro Omaha area for 25 years.
It's so great.
It is.
It's so great.
It is great.
Yeah.
And this podcast is actually a podcast about bikes and cycling in a bike shop. So occasionally you're going to hear a wrench drop. You might hear somebody yell an F-bomb. We'll try to edit those things out. But for the most part, we've been having a pretty good time doing this. It's been a lot of fun.
Such a good time. All the good times.
Yeah, we've had some great guests. This is episode number 8. So we're kind of excited about that.
Are we really on 8?
We are on 8.
Oh, no, dude, this is awesome.
And I did find out that...
Honestly, I thought you were going to get a tape recorder and just, like talk into the microphone, but this has been super legit to me.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we put some time and energy into this.
It sounds pretty good. When I listen to it on the podcast, I'm like, oh, that actually sounds cool.
Well, I just asked you before the show if you'd listened to any of the podcasts. You're like, dude, I'm so busy.
You asked me if I listened to the one from the other day, and it's like Tour de France time, man.
See, I want to get True a mic so that every once in a while he can pop in and back me up on this stuff. True is our producer for everybody out there. He's the silent genius behind the board. Been running this for all of us. But we've had some great shows, and we've had just this being our 8th
we actually
one.
have. The shows are legit. They're like pretty cool.
Yeah, they've been
People
good.
have told me that on the street randomly.
Yeah, we've had some really good guests coming in, and we're always looking for guests. Okay, so here's the thing: if you're in the industry somehow, some way, somewhere, and you would like to be on the show, please send us an email at info@thebikeway.com, and we'll reach out to you. We'd love to talk to different people about different types of riding.
Or you can send us a letter or a box with free samples, and then we'll call you.
Yeah, if you're a vendor, you can always send free samples. I'm an extra large. Okay, just, it's funny because all the vendors bring in shirts and things and swag and stuff, and it's always larges. And I'm like, dude, I'm an extra large. Do I look like a large to you?
Well, I'm a solid medium, so.
Medium?
Although this shirt, by the way, did you notice who that is on the front?
It looks like Greg LeMond.
Oh, my God. Are you dumb? What is the flag in the back?
Well, I know it's a British flag, but it's in blue.
That's the Union Jack, okay? And that's Mark Cavendish.
It's not technically the Union Jack. There's no red in that.
Okay.
It's just blue. It's blue and white. It's
this
the Union
is why
Jack
you don't
without
have any
red.
friends, man. You're too literal.
Well,
okay?
It's a visual picture, and right now, and everyone gets to see the visual picture on a podcast. That's the beauty.
This is me being a Cav homer and telling
you know what? Exactly. I think that's what's wonderful about you.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Not a lot of people know that I'm a complete Cav homer.
Well, I've always thought of you as a homer for sure.
I'm pretty sure you have.
But we are excited because today we have a special guest. This is unique in the fact that we have somebody from one of the largest, the largest bicycling manufacturer sales in the world. So kind of a big deal. His name is Collin Earhart, and he is on the phone. Collin, are you there?
I am here.
Outstanding. Collin, thank you for joining us today. Everybody, Collin works for Giant. We get to see him every once in a while. He'll come in town, and we get to see him, and then we get to talk to him on the phone. Just a wealth of knowledge and information and experience, and a cool background. So we're really excited to get him on here. We've been trying to get him on for a while. He finally had a lull in his work. And
do you think you heard that thing about the free samples?
Collin, did you hear anything about free samples?
I mean, we're open to it.
I did.
We're open to it.
More importantly,
Okay,
did you hear that I'm an extra large? I just want to kind of throw that one out there.
I'm a medium, so it's just in case.
I'm taking notes over here. For
Anything that's like really cool that you only have one of in a medium and one of in an extra large, just Dave and I can have it. I mean, it's Dave and Dave. We are your favorite pair of double Ds that you're going to have, right?
The favorite,
so,
the
absolutely
favorite. Yeah.
So from that perspective, we're an enigma. We're becoming an enigma. What'd you say?
I don't know what that means, but yes.
Really? You? The man of...
I know what an enigma is, but there's no way that we represent an enigma.
Well, I was just... can't you just be positive once, Dave?
Come on, man.
Why do I always have to be the positive one?
I don't know.
So, Collin, let's get back to you because you're really the important one here. Tell us... First thing we always like to do is we like to ask people your story. What is it that got you into cycling in the first place and basically led you to where you are today?
Yeah, man, it's a long and winding road, as I'm sure it is for everybody.
Good Beatles reference.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I remember idolizing Greg LeMond, and
oh yeah,
I think that was a lot of Americans' sort of first introduction to what professional cycling is.
Yep.
So always thought Greg LeMond was super cool when I was a kid, and I had a cool uncle who rode bikes. He kind of encouraged that in me a little bit. So fast forward to high school, I was a runner and went to college for running, and it's really bad on your knees in the long run. So cycling was something I could do that a lot of the fitness translated over from running, but a little more knee friendly and low impact than that lifestyle. And you kind of slowly fall in love with the thing, and you meet the people. And I hung out at a bike shop for too long, and they finally just hired me. So
where was that?
Worked at a bike shop. I worked at the Pathfinder in Manhattan, Kansas.
Are you joking? My wife
is
from Manhattan, Kansas.
Yeah,
I've actually been in that bike shop.
Yeah. So
when did you work there? What year did you work there?
It would have been 2002 to 2006.
I have probably met you.
Yeah, I mean, the cycling world gets real small when you start looking around like that.
That is funny. Crazy that you're from Manhattan.
Yeah. I live in Lawrence, Kansas now. I moved here in 2006 to work at Sunflower Bike Shop downtown.
Oh yeah, that's another one. That's who owns it? Is it Dan Cummings or what's that guy's name?
I know that bike shop because I went to KU for a while. So
that's right. Yeah. Dan Hughes was the owner.
Dan Hughes, right?
Yep.
And he's won
and
Dirty Kanza before, and he's a real good cyclist.
Yeah, he kind of was one of the pioneers of the gravel racing thing.
Right.
And
right.
So I worked there for 13 years, and then left in 2018 to work for Shimano as a sales rep, and did that for about 4 years. And now I'm on my third year at Giant. So
okay,
it's
when you were working at Shimano, did you run into Dan Jennings? Did you know him?
Of course, I've known Dan since
he's a local guy here.
Pathfinder days. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, Dan's a great guy. We've had him on too, haven't we, Dave?
No, not yet. But I've been talking to Dan about getting him on.
Oh, that's
I refer to him as Dan the Shram Man.
Yeah, exactly.
So
he's a wealth of knowledge right there.
Yes, he is. He's an encyclopedia on feet.
Dan and I used to race against each other way back in the day. He bought a TCR, and then I bought a TCR this year, so that's how I got the TCR.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he had his TCR at Unbound this year. So
you've been a Giant for 3 years, but Giant is they're the world's largest organization for bikes. I mean, they make everybody's bikes. They're awesome.
That's the secret. Yeah, everyone.
Yeah,
knows
that is the secret. Everybody knows it. It's the quiet secret. It's the it's the whisper in the back of the room, but it's just the truth. So
yeah, we are the world's largest manufacturer of bicycles. So
now, is it true that Giant actually owns the aluminum mines and the carbon mines where they get their materials?
So yeah, we do have our own aluminum foundry, and we do have our own carbon fiber manufacturing facility, which is a pretty unique thing in our industry. Like, we're not outsourcing that stuff. We're actually our source.
Is it true that Giant makes the most carbon fiber in the industry, or just maybe in the world, period? I don't know.
I don't know about that. I mean, I know that probably as far as for bicycles go, I mean, we got to be up there.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we have our own carbon looms and everything, but I'm not sure. I imagine the aerospace industry probably outpaces the bike industry in carbon production at some point. But
like Boeing and everybody.
Yeah. So how old
but
is
as far
Giant?
as bicycles go, it's probably so Giant started in 1972. So it actually started as a manufacturing business and essentially was like the Schwinn factory in Taiwan. So Schwinn was their customer. Schwinn went bankrupt or moved production in 1981, which left a Giant, literally, figuratively, and factory empty with no customer. So that's when the Giant bike brand as itself was born.
Okay.
Were they first marketed in America under the name Wheeler? Or am I misremembering something?
I'm not sure about that. I know
Okay.
when the bike brand Giant started, it was for the Taiwanese market only,
Okay.
but has obviously gone global since then. So we have sales offices all over the world.
Now, my understanding
So
is in Europe, Giant is the number one selling bike in Europe.
it's high up there. I don't know if it's number one. I don't know those stats on a global perspective, but yeah, there are some parts of the world where Giant is the dominant brand for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, can you tell all the other brands that Giant makes bikes for, or you're not allowed to say that?
I wish that I could. They don't even share that information with us. Probably, I don't know why, but it's a loosely guarded secret, and I imagine if I pried somebody at some point, they could tell us. But
It's
what
probably
they've told
everybody.
us. But yeah, and what they've told us is that 70% of our production facility is dedicated to our brands. So if that tells you anything, how many bikes, we pump out, 70% of them are Giant, Live, Momentum, Cadex brand. So if that's the case, then I'm sure there's some backwards math somebody could do somewhere. But I went to public school, so it's above my pay grade.
Let's talk about some of these things at Giant. Dave, for instance, has a TCR, but the TCR Advanced is a little bit different this year.
Yeah, it did change. So
how so?
So with the hidden cable integration, so the cables, there's no more cables hanging out in the wind. They all go through the front end of the bicycle, hidden from the wind. So, you're going to get some aero gains out of that. Cleans up the cockpit a ton. Okay. They did remove some material in the frame to make it lighter weight and a little more compliant. So didn't sacrifice on performance and stiffness and everything, but they really made some gains in weight loss, aerodynamic performance, and comfort, which is cool. It wasn't a wholesale redesign, really. If you look at it, the profile's not too radically different, but it's not a 5-foot bike. It's a next. You got to be standing next to it to see those differences. It's
okay,
but I think that speaks to the prowess of the TCR to begin with. Like the old "if it ain't broke, don't fix it" kind of adage, but they improved it without having to redesign the whole wheel because the wheel's already pretty good.
Correct.
Well, I love my
cool.
TCR. I think it's great. I get nothing but compliments about the frame, and especially the paint job, which is the blue colorway is amazing.
I tried to sell it. True story.
Oh, he did.
It's a true story.
I had it in the back, and David was opening up and showing it to people. He's like, "Oh," and the guy's like, "Well, that's cool. I want it." And Dave's like, "Oh, but let me go look it up." I'm like, "Dude, that's my frame."
Yeah. So I'm like trying to quote the guy a price on the. So we're on brand, right? And we bike right across Nebraska, and we take a couple bikes out there, right? We always do, and every year we take a couple bikes out just to show people, different alternatives.
Oh, this is the time you tried to sell it on brand because you tried to sell it another time before I even built it up. Or maybe that was Jamie. I can't remember.
No, that was Jamie who did that. So we're on brand. The guy's like, "Oh man, look at that bike!" Blah blah. And he's talking it up, and Dave's got it all tricked out the way he wants it. And I did not realize because I told Jamie, my business partner here, to send out some bikes when Dave came out to do some work because we'd sold a couple surprisingly, and we're like, "Well, hey, I need some more bikes." So brings out some bikes, and there it is. It's beautiful blue. Two-tone in blue.
It's multiple blues.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
It's a beautiful bike, and the guy's just hemming and hawing over it, and he's like, "Man, how much for that?" I said, "Well, let me talk. I'll figure this out if you're interested." I knew everything that was on the bike, looking at it, and then
well, it's all SRAM red, Dave.
Yeah,
I just went top shelf, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
nice.
And Dave's like, "Did you just try to sell my bike?" I'm like, "Is this your bike?" He goes, "This is my." He goes, "I built it in the shop." I'm like, "I wasn't paying attention." And so
Nothing is sacred, man.
yeah,
Nothing is sacred.
I almost got a good price for it too. So
Dude, it's the same bike shop everywhere. The owner has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Some days with these guys, it's like herding cats, man. So I just try to, I try not to drink too much during the day so I can at least get home.
Oh my God, you're hilarious.
But I thought I had it sold too. I was like, damn, I almost had that sold. And then he's like, that's my bike. I'm like, oops, too bad. But on brand, that's a different type of ride. A lot of the ones
Does Collin
we do
even
here,
know what brand is? Do you know what brand is, Colin? Bike ride across
It's
Nebraska.
bicycle ride across them. Yeah.
Okay, so you know. Yeah, you're from Kansas, so it's not that far.
Yeah, it's not that far. So, but some of your mountain bikes, the Trance, get into the full suspension Trance with the carbon frames. Now, as I recall, Giant has a lifetime warranty on the carbon frames.
Yeah, so against manufacturing defects, of course. Yeah. And then Giant actually has a program that doesn't get talked about, I think, enough, called Composite Confidence, which is anything carbon from Giant, Live, anything like Cadex, has a 2-year no questions asked crash replacement policy. So,
I did not know that.
Yeah. If you take your TCR and lay it down in a crit and snap the frame in half, we will give you a new frame for free. As long as it's within the first 2 years of you purchasing that bike and you're the original owner. So,
that's wild. That's awesome.
Is super cool that, not a lot of people are aware of, but it's a pretty unique thing. I mean, it doesn't matter if it fell off your bike rack on the freeway or whatever.
That was my next question right
take
there.
Care of it. Yeah.
Someone runs into the back of me, smashes my bike rack, smashes my bike. I get a new rim, new frame.
In that case, I would let their insurance buy you a new bike.
Yeah, for sure. Because you got to come on ahead on that one. But that goes for the Cadex wheels too. You said Cadex is included in that program?
Yeah. Yep. Cadex carbon wheels, even the Giant brand carbon wheels are covered with Composite Confidence.
So these new generation Cadex wheels, they're pretty good. They're pretty hot.
They're incredible. They're like, if you haven't
Isn't Jayco riding those right now on the tour?
They are. Yep, they are.
Nice.
Those, I have the gravel wheel set, and I literally laughed audibly the first time I rode them because it felt like I found a cheat code.
Really?
It's like, this is incredible. And yeah, I mean, the engineering and stuff that goes into all that Cadex product, they're not worried about designing to a price point or designing to, they have design parameters for what they want the product to do, and they do whatever it takes to get the product to do what they want it to do. And
now,
what it costs
on the hubs on these Cadex wheels, wheel sets, are you guys making those too? You talk about that, because for a lot of racers like me, the hubs are an equal consideration with the rims. Yeah,
absolutely. We make those hubs, like the new Cadex hubs, the free hub ratchets have a diamond-like coating they're steel, but then it's got this diamond-like coating that's actually extra hardens it. So, durability and things like that is not an issue, but that is something that we do design and engineer as a system to work together with everything. So, yeah.
How do they stack up against the top level stuff, like from DT Swiss or Shimano or SRAM?
I would say, so from DT Swiss, is probably our closest comparison. They use the star ratchet mechanism in their free hub bodies.
Right, because I use the 350s almost exclusively across all my bikes.
Yeah, it's a great design. It's been around forever. I think the patent finally lifted on all that stuff.
Okay, so you guys have a similar design is what you're saying?
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe you want to try these, Dave.
I'm going to. That's my next wheel set is a Cadex.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're pretty incredible. So I don't have any free samples in that. Circle back to your free samples, but you will not be disappointed.
So I just want to throw this out there, this hypothetical. The wife has her bike on top of her car, drives into the garage, tears the bike right off, destroys the frame. I get a new frame.
Yep, you would.
Within that 2 years.
No questions
Within
asked.
2 years,
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
It literally doesn't matter what happened to it. I mean, we will take care of it for you.
That's okay. That's actually really interesting, to be honest with you.
You know, we could use T-shirts that say that. That'd be awesome. Just by the way, I'm a medium diesel.
Because what I
XL.
could do is on day 729, just have her smash the bike, and then I get a new frame.
Dave, you're talking
Absolutely, man.
You're talking fraud. We don't talk about fraud on the air, Dave.
Well, I mean,
The sponsors
I did clearly
don't
state
like
this was
fraud.
a hypothetical.
Right.
Just a hypothetical. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying just hypothetically, if it happened,
Okay.
right? And
All right.
day
What a coincidence. What a tremendous
729,
coincidence.
I'm one day under the umbrella, and boom. That's just a heck of a deal. That's why I'm just trying to actually emphasize it with a little bit of humor, because I don't know anyone else in the industry who offers that.
Also, I
And
think it's
that's-
sexist to suggest that your wife would do it, because pretty much you're going to do it.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
The bigger headache would be whatever home repair would be required for your garage door and or siding.
Giant's not covering
You know,
that. Giant's not covering that.
The bike's the easy button. And you know, and that covers with, you know, carbon handlebars, carbon saddles, you know,
Oh, nice.
even like I said, Giant brand wheels. So it's a pretty cool, unique thing that we do. I don't think anybody else in the industry really does any no questions asked replacements like that.
No, I don't know.
That's
anyone
pretty
who does
solid.
That is pretty solid.
I kind of wanted to get that Giant, the Giant KDX. I don't know if it's Giant branded or KDX branded handlebar stem setup, but I think it was out of stock. So I don't know what the availability on that stuff is anymore.
Yeah. That's you know, we're still kind of fighting a little bit of that COVID supply chain stuff. It's kind of there's, you know, our industry's been through some serious waves of you know, inventory struggles. So
yeah, first
I'm
there wasn't
hoping that
enough,
we're
and now there were in some places there was too much, and now there's not enough again, and now
right.
shipping is a problem.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
And I was kind of wanting to talk to you about it, because I imagine, you know, being the largest supplier in the world, you know, you guys might have a better handle on, you know, for everyone to kind of know what's going on supply side for people finding parts and bikes and things along that nature. I mean, what have you heard at your end?
It's so multifaceted, and it's luckily not my headache, I guess, is the thing I'm most grateful for. But I think every manufacturer or every bike brand is in kind of this same boat, but we're lucky that we own our manufacturing. You know, we're not farming it out to some factory. So we've been able to maybe move a little faster to mitigate some of those out of stock moments. I mean, nobody's perfect, and we're certainly not perfect by any means, but we tend to be a little bit better just because we can kind of turn the boat a little faster, because we're not in a queue at a factory waiting for our order to be built by X, Y, or Z manufacturers. It's us. So,
And so you guys basically, but Giant brand, you know, covers the Live, and it also covers the Momentum bikes. And, you know, the big thing lately has been the e-bikes. But, you know, you see a lot of e-bikes out there that are, you know, internet bought, just, you know, $1,000 garbage.
Yeah.
How does Giant rank with their e-bikes and along, you know, how they support and take care of people who purchase e-bikes?
Right. Yeah. So our you know, Giant's been doing e-bikes for a very long time in Europe and Asia. So the US is kind of waking up to e-bikes, but Giant as a company has been doing it for quite a long time. And our bikes have been certified to the European standard for, I think, close to 20 some years at this point. So there's been a lot of hullabaloo in the US about, you know, UL certifications and things like that, which is great. I think there needs to be a little higher bar for some of these internet fly-by-night e-bike brands that pop up that are, I think we all, you know, most people in the cycling industry or bike shops know that the bikes that are the problem aren't bike shop quality bikes, right? So,
right.
Yeah, we even had a place pop up like a block from here.
Not even.
That are selling these things. We're
400, 200 yards, 300 yards.
We could walk over there right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I
you
think
wonder why your homeowner's fire insurance has gone up.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing State Farm suing some of these, you know, less robust manufacturers for things. And the one thing I will say about our bikes is we if we don't have the safest battery pack on the market, I would be shocked, because we use only Panasonic battery cells in our batteries. We have a thermal shutdown circuit, so if one cell is getting too hot, the battery isolates it and cuts off power to it. It's in a flame retardant gel inside of a flame retardant bag inside of a metal case. And again, it's a Panasonic battery cell. It's not some company that has this name today and then 2 months they're a different name and they're out of business and the company's reorganized as a different brand or something. So,
right.
We have super stable product, and we use Yamaha motors in almost all of our e-bikes.
Yeah, too. I noticed that. So how hard is it for you guys in Giant to inform the bike shops about the things that you just told me? Because those are great selling points that, because I think people don't understand, why is your e-bike $3,000 and I can go over here and buy one for $800?
Yeah, exactly. And that's, part of the thing is we don't want to play in that price point because we can't ensure the quality that we want to hold ourselves to. You know what I mean? So we're never going to be the $800 e-bike company, because frankly, that's not our wheelhouse.
Well, it's not sustainable for the shop either. There's no margin there.
Yeah.
Well, but it's beyond that. I mean, like what he's saying, the extra safety that they put into the batteries. I mean, if you look at if you Google e-bike fires, you can see them all over the country, and it's because basically you look at electricity like a glass of water that you're pouring the water into. Those batteries don't shut off, so those lithium-ion batteries overheat and they cause fires. Where Giant has safety systems built in,
right,
and they're not regulated. Certain wattages are not regulated, so they don't have to have those safety components. And Giant,
I don't know if it was
in.
Last year there was that bike shop in New York City that there's e-bikes started on fire, and I think some people ended up dying.
Yeah, and most of those, if you look at I would use bike shops in the loosest sense possible.
Yeah, I think it was some kind of fly by night, just sell and not even really fix it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're servicing those, fly-by-night brands from the internet, and that's what they're selling too. And
right,
I understand.
And these pop-up e-bike shops have been a real problem in big cities like New York.
Yeah, it's to the point now where, just recently in Chicago, the city council was trying to ban the sale of e-bikes until, which is like, yeah, they're basically saying, that all e-bikes are bad, which is, as we all know, it's not true, but they're looking at it like, oh, e-bikes are causing fires. But when you look at it, they're like, have the term bike-shaped object that is sort of
I haven't heard
condescending
that,
way to refer to a
one.
Non-quality bike. Yeah.
Right.
So
bike-shaped object.
They're
we deal with those
bike-shaped
here.
objects. Yeah.
Right.
So, there's a lot of shops now that if it's not a reputable brand e-bike, they are not allowing the bike to stay in the store overnight unless.
We don't either. We don't service them, and they have to take it. They just have to take it right out.
Yeah, we won't even service it.
Yeah,
and we just can't. Just from liability reasons.
But, and that's what we tell them exactly.
So we've kind of come up against a hard stop for a commercial break. So we're going to take a commercial break. Then we're going to come back. And you have some really interesting news about a new product. We're going to talk about that when we return. So let's take a break from our commercial sponsor, The Bikeway, and we'll be back in a flash. All right, we're going to take a second here to give a shout out to our sponsor, The Bikeway. For a quarter century, The Bikeway has been the premier destination for all things cycling in Omaha and beyond, with a legacy of passion, dedication, and community. Discover the latest and greatest from top brands like Giant, Liv, Transition, Santa Cruz, Scott, Bianchi, Sunday BMX, and DK. We've got the perfect ride to fuel your adventure. More than just a shop, explore our extensive selection of apparel and accessories. And the Bikeway Certified Service Department has you covered. From basic maintenance to suspension work to custom builds and everything in between. And while you're here, treat yourself to a delicious cup of coffee. As a rider-owned and operated establishment, you can trust that we're dedicated to providing the best possible experience for fellow enthusiasts like you. So join us at the Bikeway, where every ride is an adventure. Here's to 25 years of riding together and many, many more. And we are back. And once again, thanks for the Bikeway for sponsoring this podcast, the Spokespeople podcast. We're really excited about our 8th episode with Collin Earhart from Giant. And we have breaking news for everybody out there. We are going to talk about a new product from Giant, and the embargo has been lifted, so we can now publicly discuss this topic. Collin, you want to take the lead on this one? You want to tell us about this new product?
Yeah, I'd love to. It's something that's near and dear to my heart, just probably because I'm a proud Midwesterner here. It's a new gravel bike. Our Giant Revolt has been updated, and yeah, July 3rd is the day the embargo lifts, so we can talk about it.
Excellent.
Some people, yeah, there you go.
Yes.
So the Revolt's your Giant's gravel platform bike, your racing.
Correct. Yeah, it's kind of our everything gravel bike. I mean, you can make it super racy, and you can also make it super comfy and get the party
gravel,
miles
adventure,
in. So,
bike packing type of thing.
It's my favorite bike.
Yeah. It's an awesome platform. So we have the Revolt and we have the Revolt X, which is we came out with the Revolt X 2 years ago with a front suspension fork on it and suspension dropper seat post. So we kind of have two ways to take it. There's that sort of 1996 mountain bike version of the Revolt X is the joke I like to make. Or there's the, pure gravel machine in the Revolt platform. So Revolt did get updated. So
what are the updates? So we got a lighter frame, we got stiffer bottom bracket. What are we doing here?
Yeah, all the things. It's what we did is it's already, the bike itself got redesigned, I think in 2022, and won the Bike Radar Bike of the Year that year, actually, which was kind of cool. So
yeah, about half our team has a Revolt.
Yeah.
I mean, at least half.
Yeah. So about the flip chip in the rear, so you can adjust the wheelbase and get bigger tire clearance, but it'll fit a 53C tire.
Which is huge. It's like already a mountain bike tire.
Huge. Yeah, exactly. That's why I joke it's a 1996 mountain bike. So what they did is they've updated it with fully internal cable routing. So the cables come underneath the stem and then go into the front of the head tube through the headset. So
the bike's going to come stock with that? Like, is that the top of the line model then, I guess you might call it?
So all the Revolt Advanced, so the carbon versions will come with that feature. Before all the bike mechanics out there get grumpy and bristle, I will say it's mechanic friendly because you can actually swap handlebars and stem without having to re-bleed or re-cable the bike, which is great. So,
I'm wanting to see that. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So, they also added a down tube storage box. So the entire down tube is a storage container. So there's a tool roll in there that you pull out to put your tube and your, CO2s, tire levers, that kind of stuff. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Might be time for an upgrade.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. And some of the paint jobs that I've seen,
what are the colorways?
Some way, man, they're incredible. I wish there was a way that the internet could do justice to some of those paint jobs because they're all super sparkly, color changing, kind of chameleon style paint jobs, or have like a cool, prismatic glow to them. So
I've always thought
Dave likes the sparkle. He wears a lot of sparkle here at work.
I'm telling you what, my wife has my wife has a Liv mountain bike, and the color on it is so cool. And I don't think the male versions of these things, the non-Liv branded ones, have nearly as exciting of colors.
Have you seen the frame?
The new Trance is pretty cool. I like the new Trance.
Have you seen the one that Teresa Bender rides?
No, I don't.
When
I don't think
that
so.
thing hits the light, it's.
You mean
stunning.
her gravel bike, or?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay,
or is that a road?
I probably
bike?
have seen it, but
gorgeous paint job.
Yeah, and Giant is doing a great job in the last 2-3 years, in my opinion, with paint.
Absolutely have.
Yeah, the color and graphics have been great, but it's funny. We always joke like our our team, we have a little Midwest, all of us Midwestern sales reps are kind of on a text group together. And the joke is always that the women's colors are better.
You're right. The women's colors are better. And also, you're also right about the internet not doing some of these colors justice. When I got my TCR out of the box, man, it was like, pow.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
You take it out in the sunlight and it's like, it's a totally different bike.
Yeah.
But it's, how do you capture that? But so, yeah, the new Revolt is coming. I think a lot of people probably saw some leaked coverage at Unbound because we had our pro athletes there on it. Brendan Johnston was there, Trekkie, riding it. And Ben Delaney actually did a pretty deep dive on it, but we weren't allowed to discuss
the Velo rider
specifics. Yeah, Ben Delaney. I don't know. I think he does his own thing now.
Oh, does he? Okay. All right.
Yeah. But he had a really cool,
and that's all going to drop on that'll be internet ready on July 3rd.
Yeah, that's his video's already. It's been out there since Unbound. I think he got it out the day before Unbound. So but there's been a lot of speculation on the internet, and most of it has been accurate. I would say that yes, it is a new Revolt. So
what's the weight difference on this? Was there a weight reduction on this?
I don't know that there was a dramatic reduction in weight to the point where they called it out. So it just
for most gravel riders, that's not the huge thing. They want features,
right?
And they want tires, and they want it to ride nice and stuff like that. So
yeah, and again, it's not really a broken platform. There's no need to fix it and overhaul it. But
sure,
adding the down tube storage box is pretty cool. It lives under the bottle cage mounts, and then just having that internal routing to clean up the cockpit, you don't see anything exposed to the
because people do expect those kinds of things now. That those are two things where you got to have that kind of stuff. That stuff. Hey, that's awesome. What about the TCX? Anything new? We're going to get an update on this TCX. I think we're like 2-3 years into that frame set, aren't we? On the market?
Not that I know of. But
okay.
We're always the last to find out, probably because we have big mounts. So
the reps, you mean?
They'll tell us. Yeah, exactly. They tell us last. I mean, I'm sure they're probably always cooking on something, but
I ride a TCX for cross, so I mean, that'd be cool to get a new whip.
They're cool, yeah. But the Revolt's the big news. So I'm excited.
When does it hit market?
Personally, because they are back orderable now. I don't think they're coming till August.
Okay.
But July 3rd, Eurobike is going on, and that's when it's getting kind of the lid lifted on it. So it's probably going to be a lot all over the internet from the Eurobike coverage too. That's going to be going on this week.
So we can see all the new colorways and all the features and stuff, and July 3rd, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're going to be looking at pictures tomorrow.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Technically, we're going to be looking at pictures by the time people hear this. We will have already looked at the pictures.
Probably.
So,
yeah.
Right. Future you will have already seen this.
Exactly.
But
I like future me.
No,
we just went third dimension or something.
I'm thinner.
Yeah.
I am.
So he's getting heady in here. Yeah.
Future you as a medium or large t-shirt.
Possibly, but I'm still going with the XL just because it's more comfortable. But Collin, listen, I want to thank you so much for coming on and being a guest today and giving us the information about the new Revolt, updating us on some of the things that Giant does and they're unique for. I can't tell you how much we appreciate you coming on. Thank you once again. Is there anything else that you wanted to add to this compilation of information we now have?
I would say head on down to your local friendly The Bikeway and check out these new Revolts.
Oh, check that out. That was a sweet plug.
That was a sweet plug.
Nice.
You should be able to pull up there's a lot of good photographs on our dealer's website that can be shared. So
I'm just going to put this out there, Collin. You're the best Collin we've had on here so far.
I would agree.
Perfect. No, let's stop it at this one then. Only one Collin.
Right, exactly.
Don't sully my good name.
Okay, well, listen, Collin, once again, thank you so much. I truly, truly, truly appreciate you coming on and taking the time to spend with us today. To all of our listeners out there, this is the conclusion of our 8th episode, man. So we're pretty excited about that. We got more coming at you, more episodes. So stay tuned and always check out the podcast for us and check out the Bikeway as well. I am Dave, your co-host with Dave.
Also a co-host.
There you go. See, I kind of flipped it around on
Somebody's got to be the host. I think that's you.
Is it okay? All right.
Yeah, just call yourself the host.
All right, so I'm the host, and the co-host is...
Also Dave.
Oh, there you go. So until next time, everybody, stay safe and keep riding.